Hey everyone, and welcome back to Farmer Patmos, the next episode in our Rags to Riches. We have our first little field. It is ready with soybeans. We can actually harvest it. We've got ourselves a little place to sleep. Well, we needed that, so that's good. And we have a bit of equipment. We have the cultivator, we have the fertilizing unit, and we have a mower. And now the thing is, I kind of want to get up to the level. There's no good deals for us now. We want to get up to the level where we can actually buy a harvester. This one, the cheapest one. We can actually buy it, but then we also need to get the header and the trailer, which we can't buy yet. We need another, I think probably 25,000 to get it all done. So we need to make a ton of money to do that, but there's not a lot of fertilizing contracts at the moment. Oh, there's one popping up. Oh, and that's very close. Okay, let me immediately accept that one. And then I think I'm also going to accept this cultivating contract. It's also close, and we can probably do that relatively quick. This will already get us up to 8,000, and that will get us closer and closer to being able to harvest this field. And I really want to be able to kind of harvest that field. So for me, that's an important thing, because otherwise we will lose those crops. And how nice would it be if we could actually make that little bit of extra money on it. Now, this is a relatively slow-paced series, so that should go well in a sense that we can just take our time a little bit now. We're probably not going to play this part on speed 5, but a little bit slower to give us the opportunity to get that cultivator. After that, there's a good chance. Let me see if the lines apply for now. I don't think so. No, so we'll just have to get in the middle and start driving. After this one, I think that we will probably, once we get the cultivator, let's say we get lucky, we get the combine, sorry. Once we get the combine, we will probably have to do a little bit of speeding up during the winter, because I don't think there'll be a lot of fertilizing jobs and all that, and I don't want to waste too much time on cultivating jobs. So winter time will probably not last that long. And from there out, once we get past the winter and we get, for instance, some very nice cultivating jobs again, we could really try and work towards just making money to buy another field. And maybe if we can manage that before the harvesting season, we can also harvest that field and make use of that. So that's kind of where I'm heading right now. Also thinking at some point, of course, of buying a serious house and not this tent, because it still feels a little bit weird. I mean, I really want to get a decent house and not just the tent that we live in right now. So that is something to take into account too, but we'll see how that will go. Let's see, can we do this just in one run? Yeah, we did. Nice. Okay. So I'm going to immediately accept the money for this one so that we might be able to get a new contract in. That's probably better. No new fertilizing contract yet, but this money is in. Let's now drive back, hook up the cultivator, and then we will drive to the cultivating field. It's gonna take us quite some time, but hopefully, you never know, but hopefully in that time we get some fertilizing contracts. I actually think that I'm going to drop off this fertilizing unit next to the field that we are going to cultivate. And then when a good fertilizing contract pops up, we can immediately do that first, and then we continue with the cultivating. That way we might make it possible for us to earn the money today. But if there's like let's say we get 3 fertilizing contracts up and running and we're not doing them, then no new fertilizing contracts can pop up. So might be a good decision to go with it this way and just start the cultivating, but use that as the backup field when there is no fertilizing to be done. I think that's best. We might have to go pick up some fertilizer though. Unfortunately, on all those maps that you play, there's always one shop where you can get everything. Some maps are so big, it would make, I think, sense to have another place where you can actually buy fertilizer or something, but I haven't seen that yet, I think. Or maybe I'm making a mistake there. Maybe you know about that, then let me know. We also need to get fuel at some point, so that might also be something. For now, I kind of just want to get going with this. Let me set out the lines, because they just make your life so much easier when we use those. Let's try and go this way now. There we go. Let's see how this rolls. Yeah, I was thinking the corners will probably not go well because they're too steep. But hey, we can still do them. It's just that the game thinks we can't. But we can. So there we go. And then we do this corner as well. We'll probably have to do the same on the other side, but that's okay. Just try not to go too quickly. And then drive back to the middle. This should do a pretty good job. And then I'm interested to see how far we will really get with this. And if we manage to get the money together today. If we don't, that is what it is. But I'm pretty hopeful that there might be enough jobs, especially at the low speed that we run right now, to at least get the combine, do a quick little harvest of that small field. It's just a small field. It will make us only a little bit of money, but I think it's worth it in the end. And then I also still believe that we're not going to really use that land to grow a lot of crops on. We'll probably mostly use it to build our homestead on for now. Doesn't feel like it will be our final home place. Catch my drift. So it will not be where our final farm will be, I think. At least that's how I feel about it right now. But still, it is a nice spot where we can start out, build our homestead, and then once we make some serious money, we can build a real farmhouse and all. We don't have to remove everything and keep moving stuff around. We can just do that on a whole different place, maybe. And I honestly think once we get the homestead, 55,000, I think the next step up is going to be like 250,000 to get a decent farmhouse. So that's not anywhere close. Because, you know, I don't really feel like we should start to invest too much money in the farm itself yet at some point. You still have 100,000 loan. We still have not made that much money. So we should probably first invest it into getting fields, getting stuff going, and then... Although, maybe on this map, where you have such sizable fields, every time we are able to buy a decent sized field, we will also get a good yield out of it. And that might make a big difference, because then you can relatively fast, I think, earn money. That could be the game changer on this map, that we can relatively fast earn good money. But I don't get my hopes up too early, so we'll have to see about it. I'm now just focusing on these headlands, making sure that these are done. Then we can do a little bit more of the up and down sections. And when that is done, we can see how much we have to do on the little dented area. And once that is done, we will get all the money in. Now, I might have to check soon for that next fertilizing contract. Although time is going relatively slow, so contracts also pop in relatively slow. So we also have to keep that in mind now that we run the game relatively slow. There probably won't be a lot of contracts. I can put this tractor on automatic drive and we can see there's no fertilizing coming up yet. There are mowing jobs which could also be of interest, but they're not too close. But yeah, there's options to make money. Now, if by the end of the day we don't make it in terms of the money, I'm kind of feeling towards maybe not buying the combine yet, just saving the money to see what else we can do with it, and maybe at some point, you know, buy a separate piece of equipment, like getting a hoe or something that will in the end make us even more money. So probably when we have the money for the combine, we will probably not immediately spend it on the combine, but take our time a little bit with it, so that we give ourselves some options there, and not just straight up use all the money and then in hindsight we're like, oh, probably we shouldn't have spent it on the combine that we're not going to use for another 8 months. We should have probably saved it so that we could do X or Y. So I don't know yet. That's what I kind of like about this series. Usually in real life I have conversations with myself. I talk to myself and I argue with myself to try and find the best ways of doing things in life. And I think it's a good way to trigger yourself to not get caught up in, I know something is like this and nobody's challenging me. I won't let myself be challenged because I know there's people around me that can challenge me, and I'm just right and I know it, and everybody should shut up. I think it's always good to challenge yourself a bit and, you know, see if you can come up with arguments yourself that might make sense why you are right or wrong. and then argue with yourself and see if you can find the best version of the truth. And that's what I love about this, because here I can have that conversation with myself, and you can all hear it and respond to it. I think that's kind of fun. It's kind of interesting. Usually, of course, I have those conversations only with myself. Nobody hears them. And now you can all be a part of them and hear what I talk about to myself. Like when I'm contemplating what I should do with certain deals, or should I spend the money or not, all that kind of stuff. And this is just in-game stuff. I do this with a lot of real-life stuff as well. Like we have to raise a girl, and then sometimes you do things and later on you think like, I don't know if that was the best thing to do or the best way to react, and then I have conversations with myself about that and how we do the upbringing and all that stuff. And so it's for me it really helps me to try and stay focused and try and do the right thing. And now you all get a little glimpse of how that works in my brain via this game. I think it's pretty fun. I hope you enjoy it too. Alright, well, already almost 20% in now. There we go. So that's good. A fifth is done. It's not that much work so far. And once the headlands are in, although I think we haven't done enough headlands for here, we don't have to do them all here. We can now go do those big straight lines on this side of the field, because those are the easiest ones. And then we'll have to see how much we still have to do when we get to the side where all the corners are. This is just easier, so let's just go. Let me turn on the automatic drive for a second to see if there is already a fertilizing contract. Nope. There's another cultivation contract, also not too far. This one is far out, so that's not the easiest one. This is another nice 4,000. With the 6 from this one, this was 6.8, right? 6.2, okay. We get up to 119,000. With another 4, we get up to 123,000. Then we only need another 12. So there is a way of, you know, maybe thinking about... I think we can make it if we get the right contracts up. Which is probably not a lot of cultivating and a lot more fertilizing. But then in the end, with the big mower, we do a few mowing contracts relatively quickly. We can also make a lot of money with that. So right now I feel this is a good sized cultivation field. It earns 6,000. It takes its time, but it's not too long. Oops, sorry sir. I was also out there. So it's okay, we can do this one. And then after this, either get a fertilizing contract or we go with the mowing. We have to pick up the mower from the shop, but we'll just take the fertilizing unit with us. We load it up, we put it on the front, then we can put the mower on the back, or the other way around, doesn't really matter. And then we have both with us, and then we just do a mowing field, and as soon as the mowing a field, we do a mowing contract. Once that is done and we find a fertilizing one, we have both pieces of equipment. So I think that might work out in getting the money quickly. Now we also need to get the money in time to still do the harvest and make sure that it's not dark or anything, although I'm even prepared to do that in the dark then, because it's just money. I think the field is small enough that everything will fit into our combine, so we don't have to dump it straight away, and we can make the most money out of it simply by storing it in the combine and then driving off with the combine to where it needs to be and empty it out there. That should be possible as far as I know. I know you can also dump stuff from the combine straight into a silo if you put it on the right position, so I guess that should also work. Just drive to where you need to sell the soybeans and you get rid of them. So we'll see. I think that will be interesting. Also looks like going up and down made like 9%. So that is also a pretty nice speed of things. I like it. I like it. Alright, so you know what the plan is for today. You know what we should aim for this episode. And I also know that I can do a lot more talking, but it will be more of the same, because we have a goal now, we know what to do, we just have to get the work done. So I am actually going to speed up the rest of this field, and then we will share what's going to happen next. We'll get to work on it, and we'll see. Okay, that 6,000 is in the pocket, and that's always nice because, you know, a field like this is pretty cool to do. You have these corners and stuff. I like that. Now, unfortunately, there is no new fertilizing contract yet, so that is not popping up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these mowing contracts out. This one is very close. This one is also not that far, and this one is quite far. But we have to pick up the mower down here anyway. So we're going to pick up the mower. I'm going to take the fertilizing unit with me and fill it up a little bit. And then we're going to go right over here, do this contract. So let me already accept it. And then we'll probably do the others. But I'm just not going to accept them yet. So to give us some more room to make different choices. Because right now we don't always have all the options available when we do 3 contracts. We can't switch that easily. And if we do it this way, we might actually be able to switch a little bit more easy. Now let me just drop this off somewhere right here. It doesn't really matter as long as we're done with it. So let's get it done. I did lower it. That was a little mistake. Let's go back. Pick up the fertilizing unit. And then we'll drive all the way down. Now, of course, the fertilizer will also cost us a bit of money. So that's the only downside to it. But let me just hook it up to the front straight away. Because I think that will be easier with the mower as well. But not 100% sure. We'll just try, see if this works actually. I don't even know. Well, we can pick it up, so that works. But yeah, then we just drive home, pick up the mower, get that mowing contract done. And yeah, I do think we need to at least put one more pallet of fertilizer in here. It is right now about 15 to 16,000 to go until we can buy that combine. We will completely run out of money though, and we have to make sure that we also have money to pay the rent, and also that is something to take into account as well. Other than that, it doesn't look that bad, I must say. So we are on the right track to hopefully getting that combine. All depends on if we get some new mowing contracts after the ones that we're going to do, or if we just get like 1 or 2 good fertilizing contracts. I mean, 2 6,000 fertilizing contracts will get us a long way into getting that combine. And that should be helpful. But yeah, we just put in a nice amount of work today, and that should get us somewhere. It is... I think it's okay, you know, if we put in 1 extra hard month like this. Work extra hard 1 month. Because in December, January and February there won't be a lot to do, especially not in the fertilizing front and all that stuff, because the fields won't be growing. So I don't think there'll be a lot of jobs like that. Maybe some cultivating, but they just take ages, and I don't really want to, you know, spend my time on that all the time. So I'm quite strongly feeling as to not do many contracts like that during the winter time. It's also like even this small one with only 6,000 that we earn cost me about at least half an hour, maybe a bit longer real time. That's just too long. So because I can't talk that half an hour, of course, but then we do 1 episode with only 1 cultivation field and me talking all the time. I don't think that's too much fun as well. I mean, I know I can talk a lot, but that doesn't say that everything I say is very interesting, so probably better not do that. So yeah, it might be better off just skipping months, maybe doing some fertilizing if we get lucky, and then just get into spring and see what we can do out there. Now, normally that car would go straight. Yep, so here we are. Let me hook on the mower straight. And then, just to make sure we don't have to go back here in case we get a fertilizing contract. Oopsie. That wasn't properly aimed and a little bit too fast. There we go. Now it's hooked up. Can we now fold it in so that we don't have to do that? Yes. Did we get a... no, we don't have a power washer yet. We're going to need one though. Let me quickly check. No new deals. So that's good. Let's buy a pallet of fertilizer. I think with 1, we should be able to do at least another fertilizing contract if it comes up. No fertilizing contract coming up, so that's okay. Let's now just fill this up. There we go. And then we'll drive towards field 70. Let me pick a route. Yeah, we can just take the round road here. So let's go like this, then go to the right here. And then we should get close to it. We'll do the mowing contract. And then hopefully get some fertilizing in as well, because that is just the easiest money. We're now down to 117,500. So I say it's safest if we make another 20,000 and then get the combine, because then we will have a little bit of spare money for either fertilizer or something else. But we can always just sell the soybeans, not for the high price. That should also make us money, so that is also an option. Let's just take the next little road to the right to get up to field 70. We'll do the mowing, and then we will make sure that we also get to check for another fertilizing job. Or we'll just drive around doing more mowing. Here is our right-hand turn. Let's slow down a little bit as to make sure that our tractor doesn't tilt over. That's always something that can happen, so you have to be careful with that. Let me just park up the fertilizing unit. There we go. Let's now start unfolding the mower already. And then we don't need any lines, so I need to make sure that they don't show. I actually don't know if they will show right now. I hope not. And then we can get going with the mowing. Does the line show? No. We don't have access to this land. Yes, I do. Still not sure what the best way is with this mower, on the front or on the back. I guess we have rear wheel powerment? Or how do you call that? I don't know the English words, but I am in no way one that is interested in cars and all that stuff. That just needs to take me from A to B. So I don't know much about cars and engines and all that stuff. So I know that you have cars that have, most personal cars I think have front wheel drive. That's how you say it, I think, front wheel drive. I think tractors may have rear wheel drive, because that's where all the power should be. So I guess having the mower in the end might be good. I don't know. At least the mowing is going very fast, because we are already at 15% now. So doing these mowing contracts, if we get enough, can work out very well. Now I already saw that we had a cultivating contract for the grass field on the other side of this river. Right on the other side across from us where we are right now. Which makes it so that we get less grass fields to work. Now, I don't recall ever seeing a regular field turn into a grass field. So, if you know anything about that, can you let me know? Have you ever witnessed that a regular field that was growing crops or anything was turned into a grass field? Because I don't recall seeing that, which is interesting, because if the other way around happens and you don't normally get a field turned into a grass field, then you might end up at some point without any grass fields on the map unless you create your own. So if you know anything about that, please let me know, because I am really interested in that. I would really like to know if my observation is correct or not. Let's just slowly drive back and get along again. 38% already. This is nice and fast. This should get us... I think this one is 3,000. The other two contracts for the mowing are 2,000. But in this pace, it's okay. And the other two are relatively close to each other. It's just a long drive getting there. Oh, and I should probably have gotten gas while we were close to the gas station. The good thing is, though, if we have to drive to the big bridge and get across, we will have to take the drive back down again before we can get onto the right road. So we can still get some diesel there. The only thing with that is that I am not so sure I'm going to remember that. So I'll do my best to just remember that we need to get some diesel going. Oh, over 50% in. Oops, missing a spot there. Let's drive to the edge. Shouldn't be too bad missing a spot here and there, because you saw with the cultivating as well, there was quite a big part that we didn't do and we already got up to 100%. So normally I'm like, my brain right now is going, no, you need to do that patch, this is not looking good. So I really have to fight my own brain to not do it nice and neatly. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist on that front. But we're gonna leave it for now. Let's see how it goes in the end. I think we can just do this whole contract without that little patch. So let's see, 66%, yeah. But yeah, my brain is really telling me to go do that little patch. I even wished that at some point, like when we're done with this contract, there's still a little bit of grass left. And somehow I want the option to be able to also do that, even though we won't make extra money on it for the contract. My brain just handles that a lot better. Yeah, I know, it's me. It's probably a weird thing, but yeah, it's just how my brain works. We really want to do a good and thorough job, and leaving patches out there is not doing a good and thorough job, so that is not how I want to see it. See, now there's a little patch left here, so I'm just picking that up as well as we go along. And now we're doing this. Okay. 82. Wow, we're getting there. I think if we do this whole line and then go back, we might already almost be there. 86. I think soon enough we can do this whole patch like this. See, and there, this whole area is ready. It might be tough to do all of it out here, but I think if we keep it straight, we might actually just finish this whole patch. There we go. There's still a little bit left here. Let's pick that too. Alright, alright. Let's turn it off for a second so that we can speed up a bit. There we go. 91%. Now let's turn it back on so that we don't miss a spot, of course. That would be sad if we just drive over a bit and completely miss it. And now let's try and do a big chunk on this side and see if that is enough, or that we still have to make a big turn. I think we have to make a big turn and do a little bit more before we finish it. 98. Ooh, almost, almost. 99. Yeah, we're finished. Ooh, nice. Okay. Let's finish the contract. Yes, there we go. 3,000. Now, there's no new fertilizing contract in, but there is a new cultivating contract. 10,000, which is definitely the money that we need, but we're just not going to do that. I think we're going to do field 61 and 63. Field 61 is out here now if we look at the map. So if we do those two, that is another 4,500, something like that. Getting close to that. Yep, very close to 4,500. So that is something. And it gives us time to... Oh, wow, what a bump, sorry. It does give us time to get another fertilizing contract in if we're lucky. We just need... another 16,000. Did I actually accept this contract now or not? Yeah, I did. Okay, that's good. Oh, it is actually... it might actually be very tempting to go do that one very big contract. I need to unfold the mower. No, I want to attach the fertilizing unit. That's it. It's very tempting to go and do that, because then, with these mowing contracts and maybe one more mowing contract after these two, and a little bit extra, we would already be there. Okay, we're going to take this road so we get it through town. We can get some gas. That will also cost us money, by the way. So, but yeah, if we do the 10,000 cultivating contract, we get up to 130,000. It won't cost us any resources. Then with the 4,000 in mowing, we are just 2,000 short of getting a combine. Oh, it's so tempting. But 10,000 contract for the cultivating will take me at least an hour, probably an hour and a half to finish. That is not the way I want to go. But on the other hand, if that really gets us where we want to be with a combine and harvesting our own little field, and we can use the rest of the months next year also to get more harvests done and more contracts done, then it may actually be really worth it. So I'm not sure yet what we're gonna do. Right, let's go this way. Okay, so we have fertilizer, we have fuel now, we have the mower with us, so let's do those two mowing contracts. And yeah, I'm going to do another little speed up so that we get those contracts done, and then we can make a plan. Either we go for the cultivating one, or some other contracts popped up and we can skip that and just do fertilizing or mowing and get up to the 137,500 that we need. I will see you as soon as we are done with the mowing. And done. Wow. Patmos mowing service is done with 2 fields. That made us some okay money. There is no other contracts coming up yet. Oh man. Well, this might be an issue at some point, that we just don't have other contracts than that one big cultivating contract. With that one big cultivating contract though, we would get up to 135,000. Then it is just one more contract and we have it all. So I think we're just going to drive back home to our piece of land. Hope that while we drive there, let me just speed up time a little bit more, we get a nice contract. If not, then I feel really tempted to go and do that one, because it will make for some very nice money. But right now we have to wait for the train to pass. Love the trains on this map, by the way. Really well done. Okay, as always, wait for the red lights to go out, because there might be another train on the way. But this is good. There we are. Let's drive to our piece of land. Shouldn't be that far. We just have to take a left turn where that car comes from. And then we should get to our field relatively close. And hopefully we get in another good contract for either mowing or hopefully fertilizing. And otherwise it will be cultivating. We have to do a long drive and we have to get the cultivating done. But I think in the end that is worth it. So that might be the way to go. Of course you may have complete other thoughts on that. But for me that would be the way to go. I have to do it on speed 1 though. Or maybe on speed and just 0.5. So we get it done in time. Because that might be a pickle. But to get us the combine and get us ready to harvest our own field and get us speeded up that way, I think it might be worth it. Yeah, I'm really thinking it's worth it. We'll figure it out. Right now we're almost home. I'm not going to let go of this piece of equipment yet. Just going to park up and then check our contracts. Now, to the right is not our field. This is our field, so I'm going to park up right here. There we are. And now let's go check. Did something pop up? Do we get another mowing contract? No. We have harvesting contracts, which is interesting, but we don't have the harvester yet. That's what we're trying to get. So this is really coming very close. And then if we do that one too on the way home, we have the 12,000 that we need to get that combine. Or we had to get really lucky. And all of a sudden, the combine got on sale. But yeah, that's not happening. So, yeah. Choices. What do we do? What do we do? Well, we don't really have a choice. Let's just accept it and let's go with it. Let's slow down time so that we don't waste it. Let's, we have to unfold this mower, of course, in order to park it. Meaning that I will have to put it down this way to not get it in the road. And then now we pick up the cultivator, which is facing the other way. So we have to do it like this. And then we're going to take the long drive to, to cultivate that field. It's a long drive to the field. And it's also a long drive to do the field. But I will get it done. And I will show you bits and pieces of it. And then afterwards we can talk about what contract will be next. Just one more probably to get the combine. And then we'll probably finish this episode by hopefully harvesting our own very, very little field. Let's go ahead and we'll see. Well, since it is for a very good cause, namely getting our combine, I'm not going to complain about this job, but oh boy, I'm done with these big contracts. Now we have the money, I think almost 135. If we check how much we actually precisely need, it is 104,500 for the combine. Let me just type it in here in my calculator. 104,500 for the combine. Then we also need 30,000 for the header and another 1,000 for the trailer. That is 135.5. So we are 400 euros short. Or if we leave the trailer and we just put the header on the front, then we don't have to. But I think that'll get us into trouble with traffic. So we do need a little bit of extra money to actually get the combine. The problem is there is no fertilizing contract coming up. There is no new mowing contract coming up. So there is actually a new cultivating contract coming up. So we just need a little bit of money. So I'm going to do this one on field 10. That also gets us pretty close to the shop, where we of course have to get the combine. So I think we'll just rush to do that contract, head to the shop, buy the combine, and then we'll drive to our field, making sure that we do the harvesting, and that'll probably be the end of this episode. At least I hope. Just need this little bit of money. It will actually give us all the spending money that we need as well for the next few months. So this is actually good if we do this contract. I just hoped for it would be a fertilizing contract, and I'm still going to check as soon as we get relatively close to where we need to be if there is not still a fertilizing contract coming up. I mean, right now we still have a long drive to do. We're actually going to drive probably not past the shop. I think we can go left where field 15 is to take a shortcut. So when we arrive to that spot, I will see if there is still a fertilizing contract popping up, because they are way faster and usually give up a bit more money. But we have to see, because we also have to pick up the fertilizing unit and all. That actually might be a problem again. So ouch. Did that car hit me? What happened there? Something hit me in the back. Okay, well, interesting. Yeah, you can go. Don't worry. Please don't brake check me. Interesting, but we'll have to see. Just need that little bit more money. And then we should be good. And we actually get the harvest in. Oh, then we are all set for just getting probably a seeder and probably a hoe. And then I really think we are set for our own farm. And for a lot more fields. As long as we make some money. I have no clue how much we make for the soybeans, though. I think it's like around 2,000 per 1,000 liter. If we can get a full combine out of that field and we sell it at a high price, that should mean like 20,000 or something like that. But I'm not so sure. Alright, let's hold off here before we hit the road. See if we have to go right or left depending on the contract. Nope, there's nothing coming up. Alright, that settles it. We'll get going. Now I do have these little weird spots in the map all of a sudden, where things don't really add up. The only thing I changed is that I cut the Season 2 pass. I didn't have that before, and I have that now and activated it. And somehow it seems to make things go wonky with this map, so I don't know what happened there. But it appears like it only started after I got that Season Pass activated, so I don't know. Something with that updated the game in such a way that now the map has issues every now and then, but sometimes you see a weird spot popping up. Can't really help it. It is what it is, but we'll have to deal with it. Alright, here we go. Pretty long field. Shouldn't be too much of a pickle to get it done. I think it's good if we do the headland straight. We will also probably hit the end of the map here, so I probably can't even go past this bush. So that will be interesting, so I'll probably have to do this now. No, let's just do the headlands first, and then we'll do the rest. I'll quickly do this, and then we can talk when we get the combine and really get to work on our own little piece of farmland. Well, we're almost done, and I just removed the lines so that I can do this without getting all the interference from the lines, because I'm doing this manually now, because this is way easier than following all the lines. Sometimes the lines don't really make sense to me. Most of the time they do though, so it's not like I'm criticizing the system or anything. It usually works properly, but in some fields it just doesn't do what you want it to do, so you better just do it yourself, which we're doing right now. It's going pretty well. And then after this contract we have all the money we need for the combine. So we're going to rush to the shop, buy that combine, and then, well, hopefully before dark we get to do something, but as you can see by the clock it is already almost 4. So we're getting to the dark periods anytime soon now. We are at 99%. Wow, okay. Well, probably just have to hit this and we should be done. Yep, there we go. Alright, we're done. Let's quickly get the money in. I'm already happy that I don't just see a fertilizing contract popping up for like 10,000 or something. That would be like, why didn't that come up earlier? But it's okay. Here we go. Let's drive back now. Get to the actual shop. And we'll buy that combine. And now I'm already scared that next month we would get the combine for like half the money or something. But we should not think about that. We should just be busy making sure that we actually get this one. Is this a shortcut? No, that's not a real road, is it? No. Okay. It's not a shortcut. I saw a road going in there, so I was like, hey, maybe that's a shorter route, but it's not. Luckily, our tractor goes 42, which is not bad. It's not the fastest tractor out there, but for instance, the small John Deere only goes 38. And it would have a way harder time putting this cultivator, for instance. Imagine we had to do all those fields with the John Deere. I think the cultivating would have taken even longer. So yeah, I think I'm happy that we got this tractor now. As a starter tractor. Now there we see the shop in the distance. I'm going to just park this one up. And we're going to straight buy the combine, the header and the trailer. Then we'll probably have to put the header on the trailer. And then we can drive towards our little field and harvest it straight away. Luckily there's no rain forecast, because if it's raining you get less yield and there's not much we can do about it. Especially if it starts to rain anytime soon, there's no more time to wait it out. So that's not going to work. So let me just park this thing somewhere up here. That's fine. We'll rush into the shop and we'll get everything we need for our little harvesting adventure. So yeah, let's buy this one. Now every now and then you get a change of the number plate. I don't know why that is, but we were calling it, see, when you do E it switches, which is weird, so we'll have to do the E manually. There we go, front and back. I do want the John Deere green on it though. There we go. Yes, please. And now we have a number plate on it. We have this one. Can we switch the tires to some Dutch tires for free? Yes. Okay, there we go. Let's buy it. There we are. And now hit C. And then we'll buy the trailer. Yep, also want a license plate on that. And we buy the header. Well, there goes all of our money. Better be worth it. Now, let's see. We have this one. We have the header. Can we actually pick up the header there? Or is that put in such a place that we can't even properly pick that up? That'll be interesting to try out. Right now, it's already going to be really tight, squeezing ourselves through here. And then making this turn might be troublesome. Yep. Yep. Actually might have to just push the header a little bit. Yeah, I think this is better. Now we should be able to get it on. Yep, there we go. Nice. Okay. Now, I have no clue if this is the right way to put it on or that we have to do it another way. Let's just try it. Will this work? Yeah. Oh, lucky us. Okay, there we go. Now we hook up this thing with this little trailer to our unit here. Now it's soybeans. I don't know if you can do some straw squatting with soybeans, but I doubt it. You know what? Let's get into the combine and drive this way. Never really do that with a combine, so this should be interesting. There we go. Massey Ferguson, if I'm right. And 27, so it's actually not that bad. I mean, the regular speed is okay. I just hope we don't get into the darkness really quick. It's almost 4 now, so that'll be interesting. But let's just drive this beauty home. Immediately hook up everything and then get it to work. I think we can already press the X now so that we get it into the ready position. It just means the top stuff starts to open up, and also that's already. We can also do the enable straw swat. If it is a thing with the soybeans, it will do that. If it's not, then it doesn't really matter. And we have no way of handling that straw, so it doesn't matter in the end anyways. But we'll figure it out. Wow, it is November and we got our combine. And I wasn't really expecting that. We have a little field of our own and we have a combine now. Okay. Well, it's gonna take me a lot of money to get another field. And now that we have our own field, we also need to get a seeder somehow at some point to seed it in with something. And it's probably not the season to do a lot of seeding now, since it's almost winter, and next month it is actually winter, and we'll be having winter three months. So I don't think we can do much with our own little field, except of course get this in. When we do have this in though, that is some money that's coming out. Question should probably also be, are we going to do something with our field? Because I don't know, it's very small. I think it could be housed to our first homestead once we get it, so that we can just put it on there. It won't be the place for our big farm. So just getting started out there, having a place where you can go to sleep and all that is good. And then later on, when we buy a big plot where we're going to put our real farm, we also have this as a little backup for a while. And then once we get like a big farmhouse and other stuff, we can sell the stuff that we have at this little spot. So I think at some point we will be using that field more for farm and equipment storage than for an actual field. So I don't know if we're already so far that we can think about sowing it in and stuff. Maybe we should just not worry about that for a while. Just leave the land as it is. Probably just cultivate it at some point to have it ready in case we do get a decent seeder. We might get a good offer in a couple of months, but other than that, I think we're probably going to leave it as it is and not plan ahead for it to use it, because it'll be very costly to get the seeder and the seeds, and we won't get that much yield out of it, I think. Now, we can, of course, see how much we actually get out of it in case with the soybeans by just harvesting it right now. So that is the good news. We can get an idea of how much is in there, but looking at the size, should not be too hopeful. There we have a big truck. Bye-bye. Okay, here we're coming up to our farm field. Should probably park up a bit in front. Get the trailer unhooked there and then hook up the trailer. So let's just get into the grass here. Drive a little bit further. Yeah, we'll stop right here. We unload the trailer and we'll change the camera again. And I will go and start to hook it up. It is all opened up and ready. So that should not be a thing anymore. Let's just not go too fast. Yep, there we go. Wow, our first harvesting on the way. 3, 2, 1. There we go. We are harvesting soybeans. Let's just hope it fits in. There's no straw swatting, so that's no problem. Wow. I honestly did not expect to get this far right now. Now, I know it is because we run speed 1 a bit and all that, but I don't think that's a big problem. We have been going pretty quickly so far with a lot of speeds, so that's not the worst. This actually is a problem though. But I think what we can do, if I now go like this first, and then we just turn off the machine for a little bit. If I back up in it a little bit, I might just push it away far enough to, oops, I'm just driving on top of it. That wasn't supposed to happen. Just need to get it clear of the field. That's it. Now we can harvest it all. Nice. Let's just make a big turn here. Be careful for our fertilizing unit. Because otherwise we have to get the tractor all this way right now. That's not really something that I'm looking at to do right now. Yeah, I was afraid that wouldn't fit. Let's go a little bit more tight. Does it fit? Yes. Okay, good. I really want to get everything in now, of course. I mean, we're not going to waste anything. Yeah, should probably go a little bit more back and then take a left corner. There we go. Yay, that works. Okay. So 500 liters in. Okay, so we should soon be at 10%, and then we can see that we do like 10% of the field, or are we further in? I think we are already further into the field than just 10%. So I think we'll make it. We can fit everything in here. If not, then we might have to drive off to a place to sell it all and come back and do the rest. But yeah, I think it should fit. Oh, imagine getting a full one and being able to sell that at top price. That should make some seriously good money. Oh, I'm all for that. Okay. Well, since we don't have to worry about the straw swatting, we can just drive around. If we have to worry about it, of course, where all the stuff ends up, then it's a different story. But that's not the case right now. 15%. Okay, off we go. Yeah, this should easily fit. This should easily fit. Wow, doing our first harvest in the first year. We started in August, so we played for August, September, October, November. We are 4 months into the game now. We got our first harvester. And that's also all we have. So we have our tents to sleep, we have a mower, we have a fertilizing unit and a cultivator. But we also have this one. Now, I guess the next thing that we could really use is a trailer. So once we get a trailer, we can start to use this for some serious harvesting contracts. If the harvest is close to a selling point, we could just use it with this. But if the selling point is quite far out, you do want a tractor to do the work with the trailer, because this one isn't that fast. And you don't want to drive this all over the map all the time. So that's when you really want the trailer to help you out then. And also to store more crops before you have to sell them off. So a trailer will be one of the things on the list that if we get a good deal, we'll probably try and get it. I think there might be some harvesting contracts at some point, but it's going to take a long time, especially for those fields that we have the harvester for. There weren't a lot of those around, and most of those will be having in like July, August or something for the harvest. So yeah, that's going to take a while. So we'll probably rely in winter mostly on fertilizing. Now we didn't get a lot of fertilizing contracts today, if I'm correct. At least this episode, not a lot, only a few, and they weren't that good. I don't really remember the last episode where we did the first half of this month, but I also think it wasn't the best month for fertilizing contracts. So yeah, it might mean that we have to skip just months or do other contracts, but I'm not really interested in doing cultivating contracts. So could be mowing, that's probably it. But also in winter the grass probably won't grow, so we won't have mowing to do as well. So I guess it's also a way to compensate a little bit, because this month we did relatively slow. So if we kind of quickly skip through the winter, that compensates for us going so slow. So that's actually not a bad thing, I think. And then during the spring there should be more fertilizing contracts and other interesting contracts that can make us money and get us on the way towards a trailer. Now I can also imagine, since it's November now while we harvest this, usually the best or optimal selling month is not anywhere close. So I haven't checked, but I can imagine it's probably like April or May or whatever where you get the highest price for the soybeans. So we really have to store them for a while. Now we can leave them in the combine, that's lucky, but if we at some point want to use this for harvesting, then we're going to have to have other means of storaging, either a real storage or a trailer. So yeah. And look at how small this piece of land actually is. Probably not even halfway filling this one up. It could serve though as a place where we get our first little homestead, where we get a little shelter for the shed for the equipment, and where we might also get a silo then to store some of the crops that we get at some point, while we just acquire more fields and work the land that way and make some serious money. So it is actually, I think this is a perfect piece of land for a starter place. Not really for the farm, but just for a starter place. And then also, at some point, you can just sell everything. You make some money out of it back. And then you build up a farm on a whole different spot. So I think this is actually not that bad. 7, yeah, I'm not even going to make it up to 50%. But that's okay. Here we are. Done with the harvesting. And I'm actually going to just call it here right now. We are done. Let's get out of this. Let's check out our beautiful machine. Look at this. This is so pretty. I want to raise the thing actually though, because that's more natural looking. Look at this. Well, we have a little bit of money left, but we have this beauty. We have stuff in here. Let's check. If we check how much we have around 4,000 almost. Highest is in July. Oh, wow. And it's pretty low right now, so we're really going to wait. But then we can make probably around 10,000, something like that. Which is not that bad. So, I mean, how much did the field cost us? 40,000. If we make 10,000, we already got a quarter of the field back. So that's good. So yeah, this is going to be it for today. So thanks a lot for watching. Leave all your comments, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.